Blue. Blue is the main antagonist of Rainbow Friends, appearing as of Night 1 from Chapter 1 and onward, including the whole duration of Chapter 2. Blue is the first Rainbow Friend to appear in the game. Appearance. As the name would suggest, Blue is a big blue monster who wears a yellow crown, even though it's supposed to be golden. Anyways, with drool hanging from his mouth. Blue has a large eye on the right side of his face and a button eye on the left. Blue didn't always have a button eye on the left side. It's shown on a photo that earlier he had both normal eyes. He was friendly then and would probably some tragedy happened which caused him to lose one eye, which is now replaced with a button. He's probably one eye blinded and is probably slow. Because of this one eye blindness, in the game he appears hunchback and has zombie-like mannerisms, making loud groans, having poor posture, and a walking stance resembling that of a zombie. That's what I'm saying, he looks like a zombie. Behavior. Chapter 1. Nights 1 to 4. During the first 4 nights, Blue will be one of the monsters actively scouring the area for any signs of the player. He's capable of opening doors and climbing ladders. If the player ever enters Blue's direction of sight, they'll be quickly chased after by him. If Blue loses sight of the player, he will return to the last known location before freezing in place, then returning to his wandering phase, deeming the player to not be present anymore. To avoid being caught by Blue, the player can either hide in their box, hiding under a table, hiding in lockers, hiding crawl space, or simply run away. If the player attempts to use their box, it's most important to firstly get out of Blue's direct view, being seen by him, which includes the moment player gets under the box, shown by a red exclamation mark appearing over the player's box. Will resort to Blue charging at his victim, knocking over their box and killing them. Once the player has successfully hid, they can re-emerge and run away once Blue leaves and is no longer capable of spotting them. The player can also simply run away from Blue, as previously mentioned. His significant slower chasing speed, in Chapter 1 of course, leaves him completely incapable of catching up to players unless another factor hinders the player's escape. Chapter 1. Final / Night 5. Blue is the only present monster in the final, acting strangely compared to his normal behavior. During the final, he can be seen sitting in the middle of the stage, presumably incapacitable in some form. The player is advised not to run into any balloons, as touching one causes it to pop, awakening Blue, who will chase after the player who caused the disturbance. At the end of the balloon section, one will lower into a fork placed by the escape door and awaken Blue no matter what, causing him to make his chase after the player/players. They must run through the exit door, shutting it on Blue and allowing them to have some time to progress to the next part of the chase. Once Blue breaks into the hideout, he will resume his chase of the player/player through the ventilation system until the player is either caught or reaches the end, in which Blue gets stuck under the ventilation hatch and pushes himself back to the facility. Chapter 2. Hours 1 to 4 plus final. In Chapter 2, Blue's behavior is similar to that of Chapter 1. However, he's notably faster, making avoiding him without the use of the box significantly more difficult. He no longer plays a major role in the final, having a more minor part. Being one of the characters you have to lean away during the minecart ride. At the end of Chapter 2, he is seen to be sleeping on his throne, which is placed in Blue's castle, with Red saying that they were going to be late. For what you ask, I don't know. Maybe they're going to take off Yellow's OnlyFans, who knows? Jump scare will lean in close and scream before eating the player. Third person jump scare. He'll rip off the head of the player you're watching. Quite gruesome if you ask me. Survival notes. In Chapter 1 specifically, it is possible to simply run away from Blue, as he wouldn't be able to catch up. This essentially makes blue a minor issue unless he's blocking your path when you're trying to escape another character, such as green or orange. As of chapter 2, this is no longer true. Blue is incapable of killing the player if they hid in crowd spaces, lockers, or tables. These spots are almost completely safe from the other Rainbow friends who are affected by the box as well. When moving, make sure the hiding place is always available in the event of blue catching up to you. You could stay near the corner so you can turn a corner and hide if blue finds you. In chapter 2, blue is capable of spotting you from large distances away. However, this can still buy you enough time to hide without the risk of getting caught. Trivia: blue and green are the only rainbow friends to not have two normal eyes, since green the two googly eyes are not real eyes, and blue's button on his face is not real. So blue only has one eye and green technically has none. Blue, orange and purple are the only rainbow friends that have hideouts, since blue has his castle in Oddworld / chapter 2 and blue shower in chapter 1. Purple has his lair. But he's definitely a boy, and wins in chapter 1 and 2, and orange has his hideout in chapter 1 and chapter 2 that are like orange's cabin coaster in Oddworld and orange's hideout. Blue is the second tallest character with 12 studs of height without crown, only using 0.1 studs to green. Blue is the only rainbow friend that changed a lot in chapter 2, since in chapter 2 he's way faster than in chapter 1, and they spelled then wrong as well, but leave it. Blue is the only rainbow friend that drools. Yeah, I can see that. Blue is the only monster in chapter 1 who's confirmed to wear an accessory, aka the crown. Purple's full body is never seen, and yellow has an accessory in chapter 2. I don't know meh. Blue has 35 audio files associated with him. This includes vocalization, footsteps, and chase ambience. Sometimes Blue's sound effects can be heard glitching, while an implication can be made that Blue's voice or even Blue himself is an artificial or robotic. It is unconfirmed. Also, his voice sounds quite that of a gorilla. In fact, he has the strength of a gorilla, as he's shown to break wooden boards with his face. Blue's chase music at the end of the game features music called Escape the Fate by Salvador Casis, which I definitely butchered. While Blue is chasing you, the soundtrack Black Hole by Cornelius Bolton will be playing. The same music is used for Science chase sequence in chapter 2. Another photo in chapter 2's map shows that Blue was friends with an unknown human before he went hostile. It is currently unknown what his friend's name is or where they are, as they only referred to as Blue's first friend. In the same photo, Blue has bow ties rather than one being a button. He's also not hunchback. He also doesn't seem to drool. Blue has multiple unused animation sequences which probably depict him with more cartoonish animation style. The end credits of chapter 2 could possibly be hinting that Blue might not be present in chapter 3. If there will be a chapter 3, which will probably be not. Seems to be the main mascot of Rainbow Friends. Even for the game and story wise, this comes out as a strange to some people, as most people will expect a color like red, the first color in the rainbow, to be the main mascot of anything rainbow related. However, blue is the most loved and popular color in the world, so it makes sense why blue is chosen to be the main mascot. Blue rules, which confirms that the rainbow friends are certainly not animatronics, as they seem to be able to produce fluids that only living beings can. Blue also seems to be asleep at the end of both chapter 1 and chapter 2, something only living beings are able to do. I'm not going to read the rest because those are not really facts about Blue. Abilities and weakness. Superhuman strength. Blue is capable of breaking down metal doors, as seen in chapter 1 final. He can break down the wooden boards with his face. This makes him currently quote-unquote the strongest rainbow friend, even though yellow can pick up the entire green dropper, but we'll not talk about that. Increased durability. Blue survived a ventilation hatch falling on him. Slower speed in chapter 1, of course. Blue's slower than the player. But overall, his difficulty is easy.